Renee Nicole Good was not a Democratic terrorist. She was an American mother of three who was killed tragically and needlessly by a government agent in Minneapolis on January 7th, 2026. The response from our president and government officials to call her otherwise and insist she deserved to die is appalling. It's Orwellian even. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. That's straight from 1984. Seem familiar? I think the last thing I want to say here, the Mrs. Morgan put it so well in a blog she wrote a few weeks back. She wrote, "What's being celebrated is someone else's failure to survive. It's disgusting, shameful, and a reflection of the hateful rhetoric that a large swath of the American population has somehow grown to accept and look to stay true to what matters to you and whatever. But if you suddenly find yourself applauding the death, hardship, and sorrow of others, I think it's time to question whether this is really the way you want to be." The events of the last few days forced me to say something. Thank you for listening. Now let's get into the fun that you're used to on Thursday evenings. Jimmy, roll that music.
Hello, Internet. The Morgan You Know Podcast Network presents Balls and Brew.
Good evening. My name is Rod Morgan. This is Balls and Brew because we are going to talk about sports probably the way you talk about sports when you're sitting around with your friends having a few brews. Thus, the name of the podcast. None of this would be possible without one of my dearest and longest term friends, the co-host of this podcast, the executive producer of this podcast, the brains behind all of the technology of this podcast. He is James Thomas Jamreska. Jimmy, hello.
Hello, Rod. I like football, but for the past couple weeks, I haven't loved football. But I really want to love football after this weekend.
I bet you do. I bet you do. We will be getting to the NFL playoffs soon enough. Joining me to also have fun on this Thursday evening with Balls and Brew is our old man. We love him. He appears on almost every podcast we have because you never know what he's going to say, and that's the charm. Chris King. Chris, hello.
Yeah, you guys have not been able to get rid of me, have you?
We certainly haven't, and we do not want to, sir. Joining us is our football handicapper. We all like football, but we don't necessarily have educated opinions about it. We leave that to our guy who's crunching the numbers, who knows the referees' names, who can tell you what happened on a game against the spread back in 2016. There's only one person on this podcast that can do that, and that's our handicapper, Josh Williams. Josh, hello.
What's up, boys? Went 1-1 against the spread last week. Hit on the Vikings -7.5. We were correct on the Pack absolutely punting on that game. Lost on the Cincinnati Bengals, who absolutely crapped down their leg. And if you think I'm upset about losing that bet, there was 6 people left in the Circa Survivor. 5 people advanced. 1 person for the last week of the season took Cincinnati. They lost a chance of winning $3.2 million because the Cincinnati Bengals could not beat the Cleveland Browns.
Wow, that is a bad beat. You know what else is a bad beat? The fact that I think last week we skipped the cold open question of the week. Well, that is not going to happen this week, folks. All right. I got a simple, fun one for the boys tonight. We have so many times during the year, Jimmy Jam, I know I've been guilty of it. I've talked about, oh man, this is like a sports movie. It seems like this is a sports movie plot, right? You could talk about what's going on down in Ole Miss. Couldn't you, Jim, for a sports movie plot, right? Their coach walks away from them and they're still winning. We talked about Phillip Rivers as a possible sports movie plot. So, Jimmy, I say to you, if I ask you, what is your sports movie Rushmore, what would you tell me it is, Jimmy Jam?
Took me about 5 seconds to go over this because they are some of my favorite movies in general, not just sports movies, but in no particular order. Bull Durham is up there. I love the actual baseball, and then Kevin Costner is a staple in movies as well, as far as sports and others as well. Love Bull Durham, a little older as well. Bad News Bears, speaking about old movies, I love me some Bad News. Not the Billy Bob Thornton one. No. We're talking kids are drinking real beer in the dugout. Love it. Bad News Bears number 2. Hey, baseball. I apparently love baseball, Rod. Baseball is a game, Rod, where there's a little white ball. You throw it, you hit it, you catch it. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball. It's not very hard.
Okay.
Major League is number 3 on my list. Major League is one of the best comedies of our lifetime. Let's just be honest. Willie Mays Hayes, up your bucket, Joe Boo. When the TV edited version is just as quotable as the real movie, you know you got a good one. Television, for you who don't know. Anyway, and then finally, I'm going to go with Hoosiers. I think that's a great tale. Living in Indiana, obviously, you got to love that movie. But also, I'll make it. I mean, it just sends chills up my body, Rod. 3 baseball movies, basketball movies. I've got Bull Durham, Bad News Bears, Major League, and Hoosiers.
Wonderful. You know what, Chris? I normally go to you and Williams here, but I have 2 of the same movies that Jimmy has on my sports movie Rushmore. So I feel like I should just go here. Give me Major League, give me Hoosiers, all right, and then give me Caddyshack and give me Remember the Titans. That's my Rushmore. I got to get a football movie in there. In my opinion, they haven't made a great professional sports football movie. Any Given Sunday is fine. Sure, it's fine, but I don't love it as much as I love Remember the Titans. You could give me Longest Yard. Again, Jimmy, not the remake, not the Adam Sandler Longest Yard, the Burt Reynolds Longest Yard, but that's ultimately about prison football. So I went with Major League. I went with Hoosiers, just like Jimmy. Remember the Titans. Caddyshack. Chris, what do you got?
Well, now there's 2 of mine that have been chosen already, because Hoosiers was definitely on my list. Caddyshack, definitely on my list. All right. Then I'm going baseball, but I'm going The Sandlot. All right.
Nice.
The Sandlot is a movie that I can rewatch over and over. Its youth, its innocence. It's a beautiful game. Fantastic. James Earl Jones, The Sandlot. And then, because I love this movie and I can watch it over and over and over, 8 Men Out.
Ooh, okay. You like watching The Scandal over and over and over again. I don't know what that says about you, but it is a pretty good movie. Lots of good performances in that.
Wait a minute. Chris likes a cover up in a scandal with Chris?
Yeah, conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy?
John Cusack.
I guess it was his youth as well. So you know what I mean? It takes him back to a time when he was young.
I remember watching that team. They were good.
He was the baby in the anyway.
All right, so Jimmy, we know for sure at this point our show's Rushmore is definitely going to have Hoosiers on it, right? Because all 3 of us have voted for Hoosiers at this point, so we know Hoosiers is up there. And it seems like Major League, maybe Caddyshack are going to be on there. Williams, your personal Rushmore to see how we're going to finish this thing out.
Yeah, I went to 1 classic and then 3 super contrarian. So the more classic one is Field of Dreams. James Earl Jones, the speech, the one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. It gives you chills just thinking about that deep delivery from James Earl Jones. So I'm into analytics, and you cannot have a baseball movie without analytics than Moneyball. I mean, the movie had 6 Oscar nominations. Brad Pitt plays Oakland A's general manager Billy Beane. Look, when analytics changes the trajectory of a sport, and in the following changes the trajectory of multiple sports, it has to at least be considered. And if we're all thinking alike, we aren't thinking. And so that's something that I like to try to think about every day. Go ahead.
Do you want me to answer? Yeah. When I snap and point at you, that means I want you to talk. I love that. Love Moneyball. Such a good call there, Williams.
Okay, and so I did a little shout out here with my next pick. I think the football world is surrounded by in Bloomington right now. I did not pick a football movie here, but I did pick a movie that was centered in Bloomington.
Cutters. Let's go.
It's called Breaking Away.
Yes,
Cutters, baby. The 1979 Cyclist movie won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. Entire movie shot in Bloomington. Shout out Matthew Leonetti, the cinematographer here. Absolutely the best sports filming scene I've ever seen in any movie in my life. The last 2 laps of the Little 500, Leonetti makes the decision to stay with the wide shot of Dennis Christopher's character chasing down the team that's leading the race. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm not even a cyclist fan. I've never seen another sports movie do this before. It looks like he shot it in one shot because he never goes to a closer angle. But by staying with the wide shot, he lets the audience see how intense the racing is with the two cyclists all the way to the finish. You don't see that type of patience very often with a sports shot like this. It's brilliant. It's magnificent. And in the end, it was triumphant, something that I hope the Hoosier football team will be on Friday night. Lastly, this documentary, you better bring some Kleenex. You better bring maybe 2 boxes of Kleenex. This is my favorite 30 for 30 of all time. It's called The Guru of Go, 2010, but it was made about the 1990 Loyola Marymount basketball team, my favorite non-Indiana basketball team of all time. Shout out to the director, Bill Kutiri, who also, he just does a phenomenal job of editing. When all the teammates are about to talk about something that happened, they all pause, and they all pause for a serious amount of time. All of them. This is 20 years after this story happened, and you can feel the heartbreak through the scene with all these guys. It's so well done. You need a box or 2 of Kleenex, like I said, for that part. And then there's also something in this film that a teammate does for another teammate in live games that I've never seen done before or after. I'll just leave it at that. Never underestimate the power of togetherness and friendship and a special bond that teammates have. I forever love Bo Kimball for what he did. So damn good. The whole story is so miraculous, how the 2 main characters from Philly even end up in 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 miles away, and playing in California is unbelievable, playing for a small school like Loyola Marymount. I love this documentary. Those are my 4 sports Mount Rushmore movies. I took a long time. The 3 ones are super contrarian, but those are what I went with.
Rest in peace, Hank Gathers. Rest in peace, Hank Gathers. And you're right, Williams. Bo Kimball is a beautiful, beautiful man. I don't say that lightly, but what he did, it was phenomenal. That is one of the best sports stories of all time.
It's fantastic.
Made Reebok pumps the coolest shoe ever.
I don't know how contrarian Moneyball is either, by the way. Sean Fennessy, Ringer film guru, just put it up near the top of his list in 25 for 25, and Simmons had it up there. So that's definitely not that contrarian. A very well-made movie. You got a guy like Aaron Sorkin involved in the script. You know what I mean? You got Brad Pitt. Good stuff going on there. So, Jimmy, I think we got 3 locks up there on our Rushmore. Hoosiers, Major League, Caddyshack. Who do you think the 4th should be based on some of the other suggestions we've heard here?
I'm not going to lie. I didn't have crying on my bingo card in this list. I think it's got to be The Guru of Go by Williams. I mean, the passion that he had in there. I remember I've seen it. I mean, it's been a very, very long time. But the passion rod,
listen, I'm not going to be against that. Williams gave a great, passionate argument there. You were right, and that's why he's good at podcasting here. But I will say, all right, it is sad when Gary Bertier is in his car, right? And every time you want Gary to be okay after the accident, it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And I don't know about you guys, but it gets a little dusty in the room when Coach Herman Boone looks over at Coach Yost near the end of the movie and says, "You're a Hall of Famer in my book, Coach." I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it gets a little dusty for me when that happens at the end of Remember the Titans.
It does.
When Kelly Leak gets tagged out running home to tie the game in the Bad News Bears, and they have that trophy ceremony where that little shit Yankee guy says, we don't think you're very good, but yeah, you put up a good fight. Then Tanner Boyle says you can take your 2nd place trophy and shout up your ass. That's that. Want to rip my shirt off like Hulk Hogan. Yeah, we know podcast coming up later.
Nice. All right, Chris, you're the voice of reason here. Jimmy wants to go with Williams. I, of course, want to go with my own pick because it's all about self-aggrandizing me. What do we do for the 4th and final slot on our Mount Rushmore?
Well, I was going to do the same thing as you, Rod, and be like, it should be The Sandlot. We know we all love that movie, but I think I got to go with the story of Loyola Marymount, Hank Gathers, and Bo Kimball.
Let's go. A documentary makes our Mount Rushmore. Jimmy, break it out for social media gurus. Hoosiers, Major League, Caddyshack, Guru Go. That's the sports Mount Rushmore. And you know what else makes sports movies great sometimes, Jimmy? Is the plot of nobody believes in us. Like nobody believed in that TC Williams team, right? Nobody believed in that TC Williams team, and they came and they still got things done. So I ask all of you gentlemen as we start shifting towards the NFL playoffs. Who is the nobody believes in us team currently in the 2026 NFL playoffs? Chris, we'll start with you.
For me, it's the Texans. I don't think anybody really believed the Texans were going to be this dominant, especially on defense down the stretch. Williams probably had a smidgen of an idea before the season started. I know I didn't believe them. I don't think people really believe in them now either going in there. And this is a championship caliber defense. You know, Rod, I say it every year. Defense wins championships. All right. They are top 6 in every major defensive category, whether it's total yards, scoring, third down efficiency. So give me the Texans. All right. Their offense just has to not turn the ball over, and that defense can win them games.
I'd say the Texans definitely qualifies and nobody believes in this team because like the Texans just nobody even really talked about them. Jimmy, they just kind of flew under the radar all year long, right? Like they were never really bad enough for people to have them be a story like, oh, how terrible are the Texans? And they were just never really good enough to be a story either. They just kind of floated and existed, didn't they?
Well, they started off bad. I mean, I think they were 2-5 or something like that to start off with. Not very good at all. People thought it was over. CJ Stroud wasn't playing, then he got hurt, and then they rattled off. I think Williams
9 in a row.
9 is it 9 in a row?
9 in a row.
But it was always the bigger stories were the Chiefs going down, the Ravens going down, the Patriots being amazing, even though they have an easy schedule apparently. So the Texans really did get shoved to the side. And the only reason, Rod, they're playing on Monday night is because they played the winner of that late Sunday night game. So otherwise, that would be a Saturday morning game for sure.
Yeah, the Shakey's game, as Bill and Cousin Sal call it. Jimmy, who do you believe is the no one believes in us team?
Well, they started off, and I still think they are. They are an underdog at home, another home dog. I'm going to go with your and our Chicago Bears. No one believes this team can actually go all the way, including a lot of Bears fans right now. But listen, if that offense, which I don't know what happened on Sunday for 3 quarters, but anyway, if that offense could just be on like it has, and that defense can show up, they're going to beat the Packers, and then they're going to have a second home game, Rod, which could be gigantic, especially if it's, against a team that's not used to playing in the cold. So I think the Bears are nobody believes in us team.
I think the Bears could qualify as a nobody believes in us team, but the thing that I think is weird about the Bears, Jimmy, and I wonder what you would respond to with this pushback here, is I think that you're right that nobody believes in the Bears, but I think everybody believes in their head coach, right? So it's kind of like this weird dance that we've been doing with the Bears all season long. So what do you say to that retort? Like, yeah, maybe we don't believe in the Bears, but we believe in Ben Johnson.
Lord and Savior, Ben Johnson, please. Thank you. You're right. Everyone believes in him, but we all still know it's the Chicago Bears, and they are at home, second seed against the Packers, Rod. Nobody believes in us. This could also, Rod, be a game where if the Packers lose, is the coach done too?
Ooh, Matt LaFleur has an insane winning percentage. I think we know somebody all pretty well who would probably tell us yes, that he would be gone if the Packers lose this game. But that person, shout out to Cowboy Derek, also says he's a little bit irrational when it comes to Packers thoughts sometimes. So I don't know. Let's hope Matt LaFleur doesn't get ushered out. LaFleur, I don't think I said that name right. Doesn't matter. My nobody believes in us team is a team that has perennially been a nobody believes in us playoff team. This guy basically has made a career and resume out of no one believing in him, and somehow he gets his teams above 500. He gets his teams into the playoffs. Now, do they win many playoff games? No, but that's not necessarily the criteria for nobody believes in us teams. Heck, it actually helps their case that they never win playoff games, that makes them nobody believes in us. So it is yours, mine, and ours, Jimmy, Pittsburgh Steelers. We know them. We love them. How many times have we seen them on Sunday Night Football playing just to get into the playoffs? How many times have we seen that? How many times have we seen the Steelers on a Saturday night or a Sunday afternoon in a game that is absolutely disgusting, and somehow the Steelers lose it on like a field goal at the end? It's absolutely the Steelers. No question in my mind.
Yeah, they lost the game last weekend. No question they lost that game, right? Of course they won because Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, just throwing this in here, Rod, I know we're in the middle of this. He is my face of the week, Aaron Rodgers. Bring the Steelers back because why? He's a good quarterback, and I hate him.
Jimmy, you're a co-host on the Morgan Podcasting Network. Feel free to bring up your gimmick because you know what? We were able to get it off right there while we were still talking about the first question. So we essentially saved time for the listeners right there, Jim. I love
He's
that move by you.
he's also my Leatherhead. All right, I'm giving another
Oh,
gray beard the Leatherhead. All right, let's just get it out there. I hate the Steelers, but I got to give it to Rodgers, right? Because he did what Aaron Rodgers is paid to do: get a couple late fourth quarter drives and win you a football game, right? Maybe some luck had to be involved, but still, he got down and scored those two last drives late in the fourth quarter to get it done.
I'm telling you right now, I don't want to give away anything because we're going to touch on all the games here, but I think the Steelers are winning this game. I think the Steelers are absolutely winning this game. I think Rodgers has got a little bit of magic in him right now, and I think the Texans are absolutely overrated. That's why Chris has them as a nobody believes in us team, because somebody like me doesn't believe in them. So it's a good answer by Chris. Williams, who's your no? Oh, you know what? Actually, why don't you save that for us, Mr. Williams? Because I know that your nobody believes in us team actually relates to a big suitcase. Why don't you explain it to the people?
Yeah, my nobody believes in this team is it goes with a suitcase bet that I think I've only done one other time on this podcast. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago in the regular season when San Fran played at Philly. Philly had won maybe 7 games in a row. San Fran was favored by 2.5. I even had a buddy who rarely bets on games say, "Can you believe that Philly's getting 2.5 points at home in this game? I'm thinking about betting on Philly." I said, "No, don't do it. Don't do it. San Francisco is not only going to cover, they're going to win by double digits." They did. And I am this confident about a bet this upcoming playoffs. And you might not like it, the structure of the bet, but that might give something away here. But yeah, I feel super confident about this bet, and it might surprise you too.
All right. Well, we're going to give that away as we do at the end when Williams gives all of his picks. Chris gave us his leatherhead. Jimmy gave us his face. But Jimmy, if there's a face, we got to have a heel.
Oh, yes, we do, Rod. It's that game we talked about. This guy did such a bad job at his job, he cost his head coach a job. John Harbaugh is no longer the head coach of the Ravens because Tyler Loop can't kick a field goal. The man that the Ravens specifically sought out because he had the guts, he had the demeanor to thrive in this situation, Rod. You know, when you put a ball on a tee, it's really easy to hit. And Tirico just put that on there. I mean, it's a softball, big softball, one of those training softballs. And Tyler Loop missed that too. Tyler Loop's heel of the week.
Yeah, that's why he's a heel, because Mike Tirico is probably the best play-by-play man out there. All right, the man can do basketball. The man can stand in the room for the Olympics. The man can do football. He can do college football. Mike Tirico is great. All right, and he set it up perfectly. That would have been a legendary call. And then the kick goes wide right. Steelers lose. We'll get to the coaching carousel after we touch on each playoff games. But how about we do it this way? We'll just go in chronological order. We called it the Shakey's game earlier because the Houston Texans are usually involved in it, but this year they are not. The 8-9 Carolina Panthers, your division-winning 8-9 Carolina Panthers taking on the LA Rams. Williams, what thoughts do you have for the people on this game?
Yeah, before we get to that, I want to circle back to John Harbaugh here. Ravens and Harbaugh, over the last 5 seasons, they had 12 losses by leading by 7 or more points in the fourth quarter. That's atrocious. Harbaugh went 3-6 at home this season. He had Lamar for 8 seasons. The Ravens won 3 playoff games with him. And last thing here, there's 9 other QBs that have won multiple regular season MVPs. They all have at least one Super Bowl ring. Lamar has yet to even make it to the Super Bowl. The Ravens were the preseason Super Bowl favorites heading into the year. For them to not even make the playoffs, I thought it was a no-brainer that you had to go your separate ways from John Harbaugh. But I know I'm in the minority there. So, let's get back to Carolina and was it the Rams? Yes. So this is the biggest favorite, road favorite ever, I believe, in playoff history. So you got Stafford here coming in. You got Kyron Williams. You got Puka. I know they lost to Carolina the first game. I just can't see. The Rams might not cover this game. I think they're laying 10.5 or 11. I can't see the Rams losing to Carolina twice in the same season. Carolina does have something going for them. Like 9 of their wins, they were the underdogs. They did not win a single game when they were favorites this year, and they're obviously underdogs here. So the Rams have to go cross country, but they played for the 5 seed last week. Got a little hairy with Arizona, but they got the win. Not much to say here with this game. Carolina, I picked them to win the division, but I think they're one and done here going up against the mighty Rams.
Chris, Jimmy, either one of you guys want to have guts enough to say that Carolina upsets and wins this game?
I really want to, Rod, but the fact that it's not a 1 o'clock game, it's a 4:30 game. The West Coast team traveling to the East Coast, which hurt the Rams that first game, won't hurt them this game.
Nice. Jimmy, how about you? You going on book with the upset?
I'm going on book with the upset because it's an upset. Yeah, the Rams are going to win.
Nice. There we go. All right. The second game on Saturday. This is the one that's going to have the boys' juices flowing. Everybody's going to be ready for round 3. Pittsburgh. No, not Pittsburgh. What am I doing? Chicago v. Green Bay. See, I just was so fired up about my Tomlin thoughts. I just always got Pittsburgh on the brain. Chicago v. Green Bay. Round 3. Will it be as good as Rocky 3? Time will tell. Williams, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is tough. This is the game where I am least confident about the outcome. So go figure, because the Bears are my favorite team. But I know the Packers are extremely confident with this game. They rested everyone last week. They are still extremely banged up. I know they've lost 4 in a row without Micah Parsons, but this team reminds me a little bit of that Denver team like 10, 15 years ago who lost 3 or 4 games in a row, got into the playoffs, and then upset the Steelers. So be wary of that. And for the Bears to be playing the Packers for the 3rd time in 6 weeks, it's a little queasy feeling because you probably stole one in the last game. And, the Packers might be a little pissed off about that. I also think that the Packers can have success through the air here. And that the Bears have done well on defense by turning the ball over, and you can turn Love over. But I think we have some serious weaknesses in the secondary right now. And I'm afraid that Christian Watson and Jaden Reed are going to take advantage of that. The Bears have to run the ball, and they did run the ball well down the stretch. And so I think this game is a pure toss-up here. But the Soldier Field crowd is going to be rocking on Saturday night. I cannot believe this game is on Amazon Prime. I feel terrible for my dad. He cannot watch it. So hopefully this is the last Bears game on Amazon Prime for a while.
So wait, they're not doing the thing with the playoff game that they do with the Thursday night football games where they still put it on in the local markets? They're not even doing that for the playoff game?
Well, I mean, I don't know. He's out in Colorado, so he would not get the local.
Yeah, he wouldn't be the local market anyway.
Yeah,
Right,
but I don't even think we would get it, Rod. I think you have to be close to maybe Michigan City to get the local feed.
Well, listen, I have connections in Michigan City, Williams. If you need to get any people there for Chicago feed, all right, I got connections in Michigan City. I can make that happen for you. Jimmy, I want you to give your true thoughts on the game here in a second, but I got to ask you this question, okay? I believe the last time the Bears played the Packers in the playoffs, when Jay Cutler was the starting quarterback, but then we ended up seeing Caleb Haney. Am I right? Was that the name of the backup who had to come in that game? So let's hope we don't see Tyson Bagent, right? Is that the Bears' backup right now to Caleb Williams in this game?
Yeah, Bagent, thank you for that, Rod. I'm just throwing that in the ether. As a Bears fan, you should never, ever, ever do that. Not sure why you said that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Listen, I had to bring up Cutler and I had to bring up Haney because Haney almost still won them that game. I remember that game. They still had a chance, even with Haney.
Yeah, what was her first name, Rod?
I thought it was Caleb. Was it not Caleb Haney?
Isn't it Chad? Was it Caleb?
No, I think it was Caleb.
Is it Caleb? You win.
Who's the Bear fan around here? Who's the Bear fan around here?
I think Ben Johnson, after the first half last week, was so angry at himself for what he did on offense and his defense as well, that he came out, and obviously you saw in the second half they played a lot better. I think he is going to do so much preparation and really threatening everyone on the team that they are going to come out and they are going to be crisp. I think their defense is going to be a lot more crisp than it was. It can't be any worse. Oh, good. Could it be? And I think that the Bears are going to win. I really do. I think you're going to see a different Bears team. Remember the running game? What happened to that? I think we're going to see that this week as well.
We'll always remember the way they thrilled the nation when they won their playoff game on Saturday night versus the Packers. Start writing up a new verse, boys. The Bears are gonna roll. Chris, you got 3 Bear fans here all excited. What do you say, contrarian?
This is just going to be like a fist fight in the middle of the football field. I mean, these two teams obviously hate each other. This is the third time in what we said 6 weeks that they're playing each other. This is, if it is nothing other than a fist fight, I'm going to be disappointed. All right. If you're a football fan, you need to watch this somehow. Whether you got to borrow your grandkids' prime codes or what you got to do, watch this game.
Figure out how to watch the game, says the old man. Coming from a fellow old man, you all should listen to him. All right, Jimmy, I'm going to do something amazing for you right now. I am making an executive decision. We are skipping over Sunday. I'm sorry. I'm going to be flat honest. I don't care about any of these playoff games that are being played on Sunday whatsoever. Buffalo, forget about it. They're really not even that good. Jacksonville, I hate Jacksonville. I'm a Colts fan. The Eagles don't even want to play for their coach. Their fans don't even want to see them play in the playoffs. I don't want to talk about this game. San Francisco's defense is horrible. If Christian McCaffrey goes down, the Niners have absolutely nothing. And New England versus the Chargers, fine. Maybe I'll get some cutaways to Jim Harbaugh looking constipated. But other than that, Jimmy, tell me what I should care about on Sunday's playoff slate.
I think Williams just fell off his chair, but I think all these games are going to be fun, Rod. There's a lot of home dogs again. I think seeing if the Patriots can actually beat a good team, I think that would be good as well. There's some things that are happening, Rod. You should be okay.
I guarantee you I'm not watching any of these games on Sunday. There's an NBA slate that will still be going on or something, or I'll fire up one of my TGL recordings. Shout out to TGL. I've been enjoying the heck out of that. That's great. Maybe I'll watch a re-showing of the IU game, which I would much rather touch on, Jimmy, than any of these Sunday playoff games. That's another reason why I'm trying to hurry past these. Williams, give us a couple of picks for that day.
Okay, so yeah, it's the second game in rotation. I'm going to take the Philly San Fran under, just what you wanted to hear, Rod, under 44.5, minus 109 on Caesars. Look, the Niners
Of course you're taking the under. The Eagles don't even want to score 17 points. Of course you're taking the under.
The Niners stacked the box at the lowest rate in the league on defense. That should give Saquon Barkley some good rushing lanes. But I think both teams want to run the ball here. That's going to take time off the clock. And Purdy, as a dog this year, 0-4 against the spread and straight up. Niners, worst of all the playoff teams when it comes to turnover differential. Philly's got a pretty good defense. And check this out. I hate to say this. I really hate to say this. Shanahan versus Fangio, 0-4 all time.
Wow.
But listen to this. Point totals on offense of 11, 6, 15, and 9. So just for reference, Kyle Shanahan's QBs in those games, John Beck. We all remember John Beck, right? RG3, Jimmy G, and Nick Mullins. But this is the biggest stat here. Since 2004, outdoor wild card games that have a total of 41 or higher, this total is 44.5, are 42-14 against the spread to the under, 75%. I get one of the best defenses in the league in Philly. Shanahan tried to hire Fangio in 2018. Guess what team blocked it? The Chicago Bears blocked that transaction. I get one of the best defenses in all football, the Philadelphia Eagles. And I get Robert Saleh on the other side for the Niners. I know the Niners don't have a good defense, but he plays a bend, don't break type of defense. And so we saw it on in the Saturday night game against Seattle when he kept that team in that game because they bent and didn't break. So only gave up 13 to Seattle. So I think this is a very low scoring game. Give me the under in San Fran, Philly, under 44.5.
All right. So Williams, I just threw it back to you for Saturday and you talked to me about Niners Eagles. So does that leave me Two, the suitcase bet deals with Monday's game. Am I correct, or do you need to talk about another game from Sunday, even though I'm trying to get past these games?
No, it's another game from Sunday.
All right, then fine. Fine. We're not going to talk about Monday. Give the suitcase bet out to the people. I already said what I wanted to say about Pittsburgh. Chris already said what he wanted to say about the Texans. That's fine. We don't have to talk about Monday. Give the suitcase bet out to the people.
Okay, the suitcase bet is my nobody believes in us team. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars plus a half a point in the first half, plus 105 on DK. Let me break this all down. Chris loves this. Buffalo stinks defending the run. They're 30th DVOA versus the run. The Bills have been bad defending QB runs also. Trevor Lawrence has 7 rushing touchdowns in his last 10 games. On the other side, the Jags aren't great at limiting opposing rush attacks, or the Jags are great at limiting opposing rush attacks. Sorry, not only from running backs, but also from quarterbacks. We know Buffalo wants to run the ball with Allen and Cook. Teams really haven't even been trying to that much to run against the Jags. The Jags haven't allowed a 75-yard rusher all year. The Jags play a ton of single high zone, cover 1, cover 3. The Bills have struggled versus that type of defense this season. And the Jags have a significant advantage with special teams also. You've got Cam Little out here banging kicks from 67 yards. Meanwhile, the Bills kicker has been banged up all year. And the reason why we love the Jags first half here, Trevor Lawrence EPA per dropback in the first half, top 12. That drops to the bottom third of the league in the second half. Josh Allen is just the opposite, much better in the second halves of games because Buffalo runs the ball too much in the first halves. First halves, Jags are top 10 in rushing success rate. Bills on the road this year beat Cleveland by 3. We're down by 3 touchdowns at New England. They lost to the Texans in a game where they were favored. They lost to the Dolphins by 17 in a game they were favored. They lost to Atlanta in a game where they were favored. And how about this? Buffalo, 4-13 against the spread in first halves this year. 2 of those wins were against that pathetic Jets. Let me repeat that. The Bills, 4-13 against the spread in the first half this year. You get off to a slow start versus Jacksonville at home. You aren't coming back. And since the Jags picked up Jacoby Myers midseason, they are top 5 in the league in dropback and success rate per EPA. If the Jags are playing from ahead, now they can start forcing turnovers because, oh, by the way, they are number 2 in the league at forcing turnovers, only behind the Chicago Bears. And even if you remove turnovers since week 10, they are second in EPA per play. By contrast, the Bills are 17th. Jags have the number 1 PFF ranked safety in the league, Antonio Johnson. This is one of the 4 defenses that ranks top 7 in both rushing and passing. And road favorites all time in the playoffs, like the Bills, 32, 50, and 2 against the spread. That's only 39%. Last thing here, the Jags have won 8 in a row. That's the same amount of games that the Bills have lost on the road in the playoffs in a row. Oh, by the way, Sean McDermott, 0-5 on the road in the playoffs. Josh Allen has never won a road playoff game. And the Buffalo Bills themselves haven't won a road playoff game in 30 years. We have the classic wrong team favored in this one, Rod. Jags not only cover, Jags not only win this game, Jags total game. I know this bet is first half. Jags total game. I think Jags win this game by double digits.
It sounds great. You're a football handicapper. You know the way to present the numbers for the people. It all sounds great. But the only problem is you're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, we're talking about a team that has been an absolute dumpster fire for their entire existence, other than the time Tom Coughlin was coaching this team. All right. Last time I checked, Tom Coughlin ain't coming through that door. Mark Brunell ain't coming through that door. All right. This is a team that traded up to get Travis Hunter to play both sides of the football for him. He's not even playing. This is a team that has Brian Thomas Jr. like the world on fire as a rookie. He doesn't even matter. No, I don't want to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Chris, you go.
I think it's crazy that you're thinking it's going to be a 10-point or more win. Like I kind of tend to agree with you, Williams. I think Jacksonville wins this game. I don't know how much Josh Allen can do to keep making this Bills team win, but double digits is a tall order, I think. I'm also with you, Rod. I don't like Jacksonville either.
I was gonna say, Jimmy, this is the team that wears teal, right? And has the stupid Jaguar on their helmet and like gold, right? And they play down in Florida and like nobody gives a crap. Like this is the team Williams is talking about, like there's some sort of dominant force, right?
Nobody believes in us.
Yeah, I was going to say you're helping his cause here. It's the nobody believes in his team. It's also the team that has really, really gone on a stretch here where they're scored a ton of points. Trevor Lawrence is not Trevor Lawrence anymore. Liam Cohen has done a great job with that. My only concern would be, is this when Trevor Lawrence throws 3 interceptions or does a stupid fumble, at his own 5-yard line or something like that? That worries me a little bit. But I got to say, if it's a double-digit loss, we're looking at 9 head coach openings, so McDermott would be done.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. If Buffalo gets smoked in this game like Williams is talking about, McDermott is not back as Buffalo's coach. But I think Trevor Lawrence is going to end up looking a heck of a lot more like Kip Pardue as Ronnie Sunshine Bass and Remember the Titans than the quarterback we've seen the last couple of weeks in this playoff game. Bringing it back to the beginning because I am a great podcast host. Thank you very much. There's a college football game going on right now that I care absolutely nothing about, but there's a college football game that is going on tomorrow that maybe you could convince me I sort of at least want to know who wins. Chris, I think you feel a little more strongly about it. What do you got on the IU v. Oregon matchup tomorrow? You're wearing your Signetti sweater there. I dig it.
It's actually, the typical IU quarter zip pullover coaching type look. I got my 1945 IU jersey there when we went 9-0-1 last time we went without losing a game. All right. Yeah, right. Listen, this is all a dream for IU fans. All right. We're still pinching ourselves every day, right? We realize that it is tough to beat a good team twice in a year. All right. This Oregon game is not a given at all. This Oregon team is even better than they were when we beat them the first time, I think. So this should be a fantastic game. Even all of the metrics and analytics that Williams likes to use, these teams match up really close. They're all like top 5 in efficiency and whatnot, real close to each other. So should be a fantastic football game, if nothing else.
Jimmy, who's the nobody believes in his team in this game? Is it IU or is it Oregon?
I think it's both teams have a lot of believers. I don't think there's a nobody believes in this team. I would have said IU a while ago, but honestly, I think a lot of people think IU is going to win it all. This is going to be a very tough game. Dante Moore is a lot better than he used to be when they played. I mean, he did a good job last time, but he's doing really good now. But IU, Rod, they've got the eye of the tiger. I think it's going to be IU Ole Miss. Let's go.
IU Old Miss. Absolutely wonderful. Williams, I don't know much about college football. I know you know a little bit about college football, but I'll tell you one thing. Whether the Hoosiers are winning or losing, every time the camera cuts to Coach Sig, he's going to look exactly the same. That I absolutely guarantee you. So what can you tell the people about the football game, Williams?
Yeah, I don't have a strong take with this. Similar to the Packers-Bears, I had a much stronger take with IU demolishing Alabama last week. But I think it's going to be tough. Like Jimmy said, Oregon is a little bit better. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think the big key here is, and I mentioned it last week, Dan Lanning is a good coach, and he's aggressive. He's way too crazy aggressive, though, and he is going to go for it on a 4th down here, probably multiple 4th downs, and it's not going to go well for him. And that's going to change the momentum, and you're going to see it on the sideline. He's going to start to panic, and because this dude is allergic to field goals, and he hates punting. And so no matter where he's at on the field. So you can maybe get away with it going forward against this Indiana defense on a 4th down. But this dude, I'm telling you, he could go for it on like 6 or 7 or 8 different 4th downs, and that's going to be a big advantage for IU. That's going to change the momentum. IU's got an awesome defensive line. Key is that they got pressure against Dante Moore in the first matchup. The defensive line has to do it again because Oregon's going to make some adjustments.
Rod, I would like to make a change on my sports movie Mount Rushmore and open up a slot for the future Indiana Hoosier and Kurt Signetti movie that they film in the next 5 to 10 years.
Nice. I like that. The thing that I think I'm actually the most excited about is We talked a little bit about the NFL coaching carousel. We'll touch on it here real quick. I want to give all you guys a chance to call a shot real fast, but we'll try to touch on it a little bit bigger next year. But relating to the college game, I like that both Coach Sig and Marcus Freeman up in South Bend both were basically just gave the Heisman to the NFL. They're like, hey, we know that 6 to 7 to maybe even 8 jobs are going to be coming up, but you know what? We're staying where we're at for right now. So I appreciate that out of both of those guys. I don't know if I believe that Signetti's going to be in Bloomington for the next 10 years, creating the next college football powerhouse. I don't know if I'm there yet, but we'll find out tomorrow when IU plays the Ducks. Jimmy, we're going to wrap up football here soon, but like I said, I want to give everybody a chance to make a call. So the coaching carousel, you know who's been fired, you know who's looking to hire. Make a call. Match somebody up or make a call for the people. What do you got, Jimmy? Call your shot, and then we'll get into it deeper next week.
I'm going to say the Raiders make a very good call, and they hire Robert Saleh.
Nice. The Raiders go Robert Saleh. Chris, call a shot.
I got a double shot. Dolphins hire Harbaugh. Harbaugh then makes them hire a new GM, and that would be Josh Williams, the 49ers director of scouting and football operations.
I was going to say, not our Josh Williams. We can't afford to lose him. We don't have much of a football show if we lose our Josh Williams. Speaking of our Josh Williams, make a call, Williams. Match up the coaching carousel. Call a shot.
Man, I would love to be the scouting director under Kyle Shanahan. Wouldn't that be just perfect? I'm gonna go with Jimmy. I'm gonna try to turn around this stupid Raiders organization. I'm gonna go different though. I'm gonna go Brian Flores finally gets his chance again as defensive coordinator or as head coach, but he brings in offensive coordinator Brian Daboll at the same time. If the Raiders got those two guys, I would totally turn around my thoughts about how the Raiders organization is going forward. So, that would be something there if they got those two.
My shot is I believe Kevin Stefanski will be your next New York Football Giants head coach. He's pretty stable. The Giants could use a little bit of stability. I don't think he's going to light the world on fire, but I just don't think you're going to be able to get the best candidate if you're the New York Giants with the resume they've had over the last couple of years. Williams.
Yeah, last thing, I didn't know when you were going to transition over to basketball. I have one quick stat here that you're going to love, Rod. You love the Steelers upsetting the Texans on Monday night. How about Tomlin on Monday night? Can you believe this? In his career, 23-1 straight up. And that one loss wasn't originally scheduled for a Monday night game. That was a COVID game that got pushed back. Here's an even crazier stat. The Steelers haven't lost a home Monday night game since 1991. How is that possible? How is that possible?
Black and gold, baby. Black and gold. I wish my tracksuit would have gold lines down the side and not white lines. Then I'd be really lined up for my Steelers. Let's go, Yinzers. You heard it here. Chris said that he hated you once again. I talked about my love for Pittsburgh. Send me all the pierogies. Let's go now. And Williams,
We don't really know what Josh does. He could be the 49ers scouting a football operations and just work remotely. We don't really know what he does. No wonder he's always on Shanahan when he's on here. He's getting the direct PR line and giving it right to us and all our listeners.
It is a very, very good possibility. We will bring Williams back next week to go over all of the first round NFL playoff matchups. We'll have a college football championship at that point. We'll talk a little more coaching carousel. But now Jimmy's going to grab a little round ball that looks a little something like this and lead us on the fast break.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye, Internet.
Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. Jimmy, Rod, and Chris are here. Williams is hopefully leaving soon and muting himself, so he's not. There we go. Williams, I tell you, that guy. Gentlemen, welcome. We have had a very, very big week in the NBA. A lot of different things are happening. The games are being played, but there's also something that happened, a gigantic trade. Trae Young goes from the Hawks to the Washington Wizards for Mr. Brogdon and Mr. Kispert. You know, it's interesting when Shams Charania comes out and says, hey, they're talking about it. And like 24 hours later, it's done. Trae Young, who was traded for Luka Doncic at one point, gets no picks in return for the Hawks, gets 2 decent players, but nothing special, is on a player option for next year, but after that, nothing. I don't really see the downside for this at all for Washington. And I honestly don't see the downside for Atlanta either, because Atlanta's playing better without him. Rod, you are, I would say, probably one of the more, you watch the NBA more than a lot of people I know. Please explain to me why this is a good trade for both teams, or why you don't think it's a good trade at all.
All right, well, first off, I want to just do a quick shout out here. You got your washed up Washington Wizards veteran guards mixed up, Jimmy. It was CJ McCollum, not Malcolm Brogdon.
Did I say CJ? Did I say Brogdon? I meant McCollum. Yeah. Jesus.
Listen, Brogdon was in Washington at one time, and they were looking to get rid of him, just like they were looking
Rod,
get rid.
Rod, why are you getting angry? Rod, calm down. Okay,
we have to do something about this situation. The momentum is dying.
I don't understand no more distractions.
But I do believe we should all follow one path in life.
Hubris and ego and pride. Sorry, all that was a complete lie. All that was a complete lie. That leads me right into my Rod Damnation this week. And Jimmy, you and I have known each other for quite a while, so we sometimes are simpatico, and you were kind of leading right down the angle there. You said that magically 24 hours later, after it was leaked that the Wizards and the Hawks were working out a deal, he was traded there. Well, I want to speak to another part of this that absolutely just got my dander up a little bit. And that's when all of a sudden we were blessed with a report that Trae Young had informed the Atlanta Hawks that he wished to go to the Washington Wizards. Wait a minute now. Absolutely wait 1 minute here. How far have we gone in the horse trading business with guys like Shams and other NBA insiders that they are trading water that much? Come on. Do you expect us all to believe that Trae Young was sitting in a room with his agents and they had a whiteboard up and they were going over all the possible scenarios and all the teams that he could go to and win an NBA championship in the next couple of years? And they were like, well, Trae, I'll tell you, the best spot for you is in Washington. I really think those guys are about to turn it around. What are we talking about here? We don't have to do this sprinkling of information out in the ether to try to make basketball fans believe something that's not true. We understand that Washington traded for a distressed asset because it was essentially free. They gave up an expiring contract and a guy named Corey Kispert. Even though I love white Americans as much as the next guy, not necessarily a huge dude that moves the needle, okay? So Atlanta got rid of a guy that clearly their defense and their team got worse when he was on the floor. Guys didn't want to play with him, so you get him out of town. You bring in a couple of warm bodies that can actually play a little bit. Kispert will space the floor a little bit. And if you're Washington, as long as you don't get outside of the worst 8 teams, Jimmy, that's the only tricky part here for the Wizards. If they get outside of the top 8, their pick all of a sudden goes to Washington. So as long as you're still bad and maybe a few more people show up to watch Trae, I kind of think it's a win-win, weirdly.
Chris, you are always one for teams trying to do the best they can. This is a winning move for the Wizards if they play Trae Young, who apparently has a leg injury or something like that. And he'll probably be on that leg injury for a while, right?
Probably. Yeah, right. We know the NBA. I will say this. You sometimes do get better. Like Rod said, they're playing better without him. Sometimes you are better by subtraction. All right. Sometimes it just happens. You know, McCollum is an aging vet, but he can still go out there and drop 20, right? You can get 20 points and 4 assists out of him on a nightly basis, which is worth something, at least a little bit. And
he'll be in the right spot on defense, at least, right? And that's a huge negative with Trae Young. So, I mean, at least he's a bit of a warm body on defense.
Right. So, yeah, maybe. But, like, I don't know if either one of these teams can – I mean, maybe the Hawks get into a play-in game if they continue to at least play halfway decent. But I don't know if either one of these teams makes the playoffs.
Of course they're going to get a play-in game. It's this Chicago, Miami, Atlanta Invitational. That's what the East playoff is. The East play-in is. It's always those 3 teams. What are you talking about? Of course they're going to be there.
Well, Chris, I think the Hawks are going to make another move here. And one of the moves I think they might make is they might go for AD. And we talked about this in text a little bit. Let's kind of open it up to the audience here. I don't understand, as someone who watches basketball, why you would trade for AD knowing full well he's going to want $200 million of a contract extension. He just doesn't play, Rod. I don't understand why you would go for AD and not save some things like that New Orleans pick, maybe for someone bigger.
That's the thing, right, Jimmy? I'm with you. I don't necessarily love getting rid of that New Orleans pick, but what if the Trae Young deal that just happened is a bit of a canary in the coal mine here, right? What if basically the price of semi-distressed big contract assets in the NBA is suddenly down, right? What if the Hawks can cobble together Kristaps Porzingis, another guy who never plays, right? What if they can cobble him together a few other salaries, throw those Dallas's way, and get back Anthony Davis, right? I mean, you're dead right that Davis doesn't play a lot, but the theoretical idea of a guy like AD who can shoot a little bit, who can play pretty good defense, works with that Atlanta team if he's on the floor.
I think McCollum and Kispert will actually do pretty well for Atlanta. I don't think Brogdon's going to do very well because he retired over the summer. But overall, I think a very fascinating trade all over the place because Trae Young's going to want an extension. He's not going to get a max extension at all. This might be something good. And like you said, they're going to get butts in the seats. They're going to have jersey sales. I don't think the Wizards have had jersey sales in a while. And they've got a decent young team. It might work. I mean, they've won. Actually, no, they just lost, didn't they? So, they're 10-26. They're not.
No, Jimmy, I love
team.
what you said the most about this. Chris, you should be championing this deal. Your anti-tanking rhetoric that you bring to the people all the time, whether what sport we're talking about, the Wizards are basically doing the anti-that here.
That's why I said it was good for both teams.
But no, I don't think you championed it enough. You need to be like Paul Revere, Chris, getting on your horse, all right, with your lanterns, riding through the streets, telling people that the Wizards are not tanking.
I reserve the right to judge anything the Wizards do later because I can't trust anything the Wizards do at the moment.
For the first time in over 2 years, literally, I do not have the most wins in the wins league among the three of us.
Let's go.
Of course, Wu-Tang has 119 wins because he picked the Nuggets and Pistons back to back.
No, it's also, listen, Jimmy,
the Suns
credit's
played.
got to be given. Yeah, credit's got to be given where credit's due. I was supposed to give Wu-Tang one of the worst 4 teams in the league, and I gave him a team who may qualify for the back end of the Western Conference playoffs.
Yeah, that wasn't ideal, Rod. Thanks. Appreciate that a lot. Wu-Tang has 119 wins.
But, Jimmy, at least you're not going to win. So maybe there was a method to my madness.
Chris has 101 wins. He's in last. That's good. Wolves and Lakers, 24 and 23 wins. So, Chris, are the Lakers good, or is JJ Redick going to have a heart attack?
I think both things could maybe be true.
That's what I was going to say. I think both things will be true.
Well, actually, I don't think the Lakers are very good. It pains me to say that, though. Chris, do you agree?
I mean, okay, I'm going to say it. I think they are better. They were better at the beginning of the year when LeBron was not playing as much and a little bit hurt. So I think the Lakers can still be good. They can still be a top 5 team in the West, maybe top 4, but
Austin
I think
Reeves
they have
is out. Austin Reeves is
right.
out. We keep forgetting.
He's been out for a while.
Yeah,
he is.
Right. So, and I think if they get healthy, they can be much better. I can also think that Redick could have not just one, but multiple heart attacks.
He's like Todd Sportsky on the Superfans. He's going to start beating his chest on the sidelines. Oh, that was a good one.
Derek has 107 wins. The Spurs are helping him with 26. Cavs with 21. Mavs are playing as hard as they can with 14 wins. I think they're doing okay. And the Bulls are 17 and 20, and they're going to end up right at 500 as they always do. Derek, thank you very much there. Jimbo,
41
Jimmy.
and 41 has many ups and downs, right, Jimmy? That's what we always say about the Bulls.
I think it's raining in the United Center tonight too, by the way, so that's kind of fun.
At least they don't have bats like they used to have at the Alamo Dome down in San Antonio.
You know, when you pick a team in the 4th round that has 8 wins, oh no, that was given to me. Thanks. I think it was Chris. Pelicans have 8 wins, not doing very well for me. The Thunder have 31, Magic 21, Hawks 18, Hornets 13. Hornets are getting a little frisky. I like the Hornets.
They're
Let's
my
just see
favorite
them
league pass team.
do
Love
a
the
little
Derek-
bit
league
more.
pass.
Derek gave you the Pelicans, not me.
Did he? Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Screw Derek.
Well,
then
you'll
finally,
definitely be saying that this weekend when your Bears and Packers lock horns. I can't wait to see you guys on text this weekend.
you know, it's funny. One of my relatives who is a gigantic Packers fan has thrown up recently during a game because he or she was very nervous and upset. This isn't a relative that lives close or anything like that, but threw up during a game because they were so nervous of a Packers game. This is crazy. This is nuts. I thought
crazy.
Derek was bad. Derek is bad.
He is bad, but we love him.
But hey, Rod, we got to give you credit. 112 wins. You're 1 game up on me, you son of a. If the Thunder would have beaten the freaking Hornets, we'd be tied and it'd be fine. Actually, yeah.
You got to watch out for Con Knipple.
No, we wouldn't have been. I have both of them. Never mind. So, Rod, your Knicks have 24 wins. Rockets 22. Clippers. Hey. Oh, is that a pulse? Is that a pulse for the Clippers? 13 wins?
You know what else I love about that real quick? Speaking of the Clippers, Jimmy, I think it's absolutely fabulous that Mr. Kawhi Leonard is going to be strutting into the Intuit Dome as an all-star with this aspiration situation still completely unresolved. Just Kawhi Leonard continuing to walk with his head high saying, I don't give an F about anything. You got to love it.
You would think that they would have mentioned something about that. Oh, no, because they don't want you to. They did the Trae Young trade just to get people's minds off it again.
Right.
So, Rod, congratulations there. Obviously, your Celtics have 23 wins, and they're playing very, very well. Will the Celtics be buyers at the deadline, Rod? Al Horford's available.
Listen, that's the other thing. That's the sneaky part of this Celtics dynasty over the last 8 years, right? And I guess dynasty is not the right word because they've only won one championship, but this good stretch of Celtics play. When the Celtics get rid of somebody, you don't want to be on the other end of that trade. All right, let's go all the way back to Isaiah Thomas, right? Going out in the Kyrie trade. Isaiah Thomas
never walked again.
Yeah, it was basically over after he left the Celtics, right? Gordon Hayward walked away from the Celtics for a free agent contract to the Hornets, and everybody was like, what are the Celtics doing? Gordon Hayward's career basically over and done with. Horford, 2 different times, has left the Celtics and been absolutely nothing, and then he came back. So I guess, Jimmy, by that rationale, if we could get Horford back, maybe he'd help us. But the thing for the Celtics is Luka Garza and Neemias Queta, all right? That's what it is for the Celtics. They're not guys that are filling up the stat sheets, but the screens they can set and the hustling that they do is leagues different than what Porzingis and Horford brought to this team. And you're seeing it right now come to fruition in Celtics wins. I love this team. And Jason Tatum's coming back.
You know what else we can see, Rod? The Kings hardwood hierarchy.
Bryant for the win.
Really, nothing. No one really stood out or changed their trajectory enough. All right, and the Thunder. All right, don't lose to Charlotte at home by 30. Okay, how about we do that? And then maybe you could overtake the Spurs. I'm still keeping the Spurs at 1 in the King spot. Right? They took down the Thunder 3 times. That's still rather impressive, and that's probably the most impressive thing any team has done this year. So we talked about it. They made the Thunder bleed. I'm putting the Pistons ahead of the Thunder this week. The Pistons are the best in the East right now. Boston is looking strong still, but I still got to give it to Detroit. And then Thunder will be the queen. Or the Prince. Sorry.
Can the Thunder be they haven't been playing very well, Chris?
6-7 in their last 13.
I thought you
in
liked
their
winning.
last 10. 6-4 in their last 10. They're still first in the West. All right. They've only lost 7 games. They're not indestructible like they were before or how we thought they were. And so I have ranked them accordingly.
I don't know. That feels fishy. I believe you've single-handedly knocked teams further down before for losing to squads like the Hornets, and they lost to the Suns, who are another team that's never sniffed the top of the hardwood hierarchy. I don't know, man. I think you're giving the Thunder a little bit of a pass here.
I thought they were going to be your jester, to be honest with you.
I'm sorry. What happens when you just keep losing after you had lost 10 in a row? Oh, that would be you still are the jester Indiana Pacers. All right.
You're so angry, Chris. They're playing hard.
I mean,
They're just
if
bad.
I hadn't made this decision before we went on air, um, maybe they wouldn't because we did beat Charlotte tonight. That score was finalized while we were recording, but still they had lost 13 in a row before tonight.
Listen, I promise you guys this, okay? Next week when we record, I will have a first-hand report for you about the Indiana Pacers because I will be going to Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Monday, January 12th, to see the Indiana Pacers take on. Either of you two like to vary a guess as who I'm going down in the Indianapolis to see play?
Will you be wearing a
Boston?
shade of green?
I shall be. Get to see my Celtics in person on Monday with the Daxter in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And I hope that it will be some new contestant running down the aisle like the Price is Right to play center for the Pacers the way it has been all year. Micah Potter, come on down.
What a great time to be an NBA basketball fan. We've got trades, we've got great games going on, and the Celtics are coming to Indianapolis, just like they were last year at this time, Rod. Last year at this time, we were gearing up for the Royal Rumble match, which, by the way, is like 2 weeks away, which is ridiculous. 3 weeks away.
crazy.
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
Chris, we're leaving. Take us home. Yeah, we know podcast coming up next.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye, Internet.
I take my rightful place at the head of the table. Believe that.
Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Know's podcasting network. In the room with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris, and we are officially on the road to the Royal Rumble. Usually we don't start off with SmackDown, but I thought SmackDown was a terrific show. I know it's a week away, and that's okay. I really enjoyed that show, Rod. A lot of people came back, a lot of surprises. I think it was even better than Raw.
Really? Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
oh,
that
yeah.
That doesn't happen very often for SmackDown, but yeah, I mean, I suppose there was, there were some tricks that were pulled out. There were some things that were happening. We've got some new blood. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the Io Sky Rhea Ripley angle. I don't like that. So,
Yeah.
but was that on Raw? Which one of those?
That was
when
Raw.
did they win the? All right, see, I get them mixed up now, Jimmy. What happened on SmackDown? Which one was? What made this SmackDown better than Raw?
Well, first of all, we had your boy Kit Wilson.
Oh yeah, okay, Cardona. All right.
Yeah,
That's
Zack
fair.
Ryder slash Matt Cardona came back. Really excited to see what they do. I hope they do something with him, unlike last time when they brought some people back and they were just job guys. Matt Cardona, Chris, used to be Zack Ryder in the WWE, and he had a nice little run as IC champ, was basically lower card, went to the Indies and is king of the Indies, king of the death match, a ton of championships. Do you have any care at all about Matt Cardona?
If he can put on a good show and is good on the mic, of course I'm going to care, right? King of the death match, that intrigues me right away. I don't know. I'm not sure I've seen a death match before, except for Celebrity Death Match way back in the day on MTV. But
It's kind of the same thing, but with real people now, unfortunately. Yeah.
Ooh, right. Well, hey, let's see. Right, it was a good match he had the other night on SmackDown.
Jordan Grace is coming to SmackDown, and I'm really excited to see her. She did a great job in TNA, great job in NXT. I love Jordan Grace. I think she's going to be a great addition to the roster, Chris.
So I have not seen her except for the few times that I think she showed up for the Women's Rumble last year, right?
She did.
Right. I think that was the only time that I have seen her. So I'm excited to see what she has. Listen, the women's division is growing and increasing and becoming something great because as we saw on Raw, there was a whole lot more women's matches on Raw Monday night than men, and more important matches as well.
There were a lot there. And I think one thing, though, if you're going to have a Jordan Grace, Jade Cargill face-to-face, let's not have Jade Cargill in heels. She had to be in heels there, Rod, because Jade Cargill was about 9 feet tall compared to Jordan Grace.
I continue to not love the Jade Cargill experience. I think they're doing with her what they need to be doing with her, but like we gotta coach her up a little bit more on like her delivery. Like I get that she thinks she's protruding confidence and like being scary, but like it's jarring and it just doesn't work. Like this is what she needs to be doing. Have her be an ass kicker, that's fine, but like we gotta do something because it's like nails on a chalkboard when she starts talking too much on screen, and that's not good.
It's strange because she's very active on social media. Uh, and I think she's another one of those performers who does a really good job when they're just being themselves and not necessarily in character on TV. And she's got to find a way to put those together to make the whole package. Because listen, unbelievable look. Needs to work a little bit still with Ricky Saints in the ring, getting those polish up a little bit. But other than that, she really does need to work on those promos a lot. Someone who doesn't, though, Rod, is Sami Zayn. And I thought Sami Zayn, you can give him a mic, say, go talk for 5 minutes, and he'll be great. But something I was not expecting, swoop that Trick. Trick Williams came out. That's something brand new we haven't seen. I don't think there may actually be some interference in that. Man, I really don't want to see any interference. I'm excited about that, Rod.
Oh, Jimmy, listen, okay, you've got a man coming down to the ring. Okay, I've talked about this before. Faithful listeners will remember this list that I've run down. Okay, if you come down to the ring in fur, I'm already in, right? I'm already in. If you are coming down to the ring in fur, all right. If you have got a chant that the crowd is going to start chanting as soon as you hit the ring, and then you are going to come down with diamonds, you are going to be braggadocious, and you are going to have 4 different nicknames for yourself, I am absolutely in. Give me Trick Willie, Willie the God, whatever he wants to call himself. Let's absolutely go whoop that Trick. My guy who likes to wear fur on the shelf right now. My other guy who occasionally wears fur, Ilya Dragunov, just lost the United States Championship belt. Bring me some Trick Willie. Let's go.
Chris.
100% behind Trick. All right. You guys know I'm not a Sami Zayn fan, so I'm 100% behind Trick. And I'm with you, Rod. This is a song I have heard and liked before, even before I knew who Trick Williams. So I'm already behind it because I enjoy his music and I enjoy the entrance. He gets the crowd going. It's so much better than hearing Yeet, right? So give me Trick.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Rod, we have some bad news.
Oh, no.
Our boy. I think from your first show. Ciampa, I don't think is resigning. I think he might be done.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why we pushed Gargano out as a United States Championship contender with just Candice LeRae, huh? No more Ciampa. He never should have shaved his beard, Jimmy. Like, I know it was an accident, but it was never for the same for Ciampa after he accidentally shaved his beard.
I hope they get something figured out from the internet. It's March, I think, is when it's up, but he's pretty much going to be done now. What a great competitor. He and Gargano had some unbelievable feuds in NXT. I really wish we could watch that again. That was black and gold. And he was, where's Goldie at? Oh, my goodness. I loved it. I was fortunate enough to see one of their first matches with WWE and NXT when they weren't even signed yet in Indianapolis at the Egyptian Room, I believe was where they had it, where they went against FTR, the Revival. Yeah. Carmelo Hayes and Johnny Gargano, though. Woo, baby. Candice LeRae's back with Gargano. They're going to, go with that again. Hopefully she gets involved in the women's division a little bit more, but Gargano and Hayes had a great matchup. I love that they continue, Chris, to do the United States Open Challenge.
Right. Like, yeah, let's keep it interesting, right? Let's make sure we're having a belt going up every week, right? I love that. More every week. I want to see that U.S. title going up for grabs.
We've been going for about an hour now, and all of us are going over our words, and that's perfectly fine. We're just excited. We love wrestling. We love basketball. We love football. We love coaching carousels. And we love faces and heels. And we have 2 in 1 because Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes are going to go in a 3 stages of hell match. Which, of course, the first stage is a regular wrestling match was the dumbest thing ever. They always do, Rod.
Yeah, there was no surprise that was going to be there because Drew has to prove to everybody that I'm the superior wrestler. Whatever.
A cage match, Chris, where no one can interfere.
Yeah, never.
Wanna take any
Never has it
bets?
happened. Never. Never has it happened where anybody's interfered in a cage match, Jimmy. It's never happened, ever, once in the history of the WWE.
Right? Yeah,
I
there's
think-
going to be
Go ahead.
some sort of schmoz, right? We're either
I'm not sure about that, actually. I'm not sure about that, but
all I know is I am 100% behind my man Drew. I think he's been speaking facts the entire time. I think we're going to see Cody go down this rabbit hole and descend into hell and come out a different type of human being and become the heel he was always meant to be.
wait a minute. Speaking facts, I'm not so sure. Do you have a direct line to the underworld, Chris? Can you verify for us that one Dusty Rhodes is indeed in hell? I'm not sure that you can. Also, can you pull out your cell phone right now and prove to us that you have Brandy Rhodes' cell phone number so that you can say to us that she is not happy with her man at home? Can you prove either of these things that your man Drew McIntyre said in the ring, Chris?
I just don't think Drew lies.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Great, fantastic.
Dynamite.
I don't understand you at all. Which I guess
I'm a
is
fan
good.
of Drew McIntyre, right? We
But
know.
see, that's the point. You can be, and you can just say that he's being a great heel, and you can appreciate his performance as one of the best heels the WWF has seen in the last year.
I'm a fan, so he's a good guy in my eyes, and he's always going to be like that. I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to change my mind. All right, the first match I saw him wield, like, you guys got me back in. First PLE I watched, or it wasn't a PLE, I think it was a SmackDown before PLE, but he came out and I saw him cut down ropes with an Excalibur type sword. All right, how can I not love this guy immediately? And I'm not going to change my mind. All right, I'm 100% behind Drew. I'm not a big Cody fan as of late, so make Cody more interesting by making him go insane. And if this is how it has to happen,
Of course, the guy who was around for King Arthur's sword, Jimmy, absolutely loves a guy who's swinging a sword around in a wrestling ring.
Well, his name is Arthur. Shinsuke Nakamura randomly backstage talking to Tamatonga in Japanese. I have no idea what that could be about. Chris, you have any idea what that could be about?
whatever. I want to see more Shinsuke, right? I think we've talked about him before. We love seeing him in the ring, right?
They have a history in New Japan. And by the way, Tamatonga in New Japan was a 4-time never openweight champion, a 7-time tag team champion, and a 4-time 6-man tag team champion. And basically what he was saying, Rod, is you're just going to be Solo's little boy here, not doing anything. What's going on? I don't know if they're going to do anything with it, but at least it's a little interesting.
I figured that that's what it was, is that you were going to be able to enlighten all of us on their past in New Japan wrestling. I figured that that's what was going on there. We all know Shinsuke is a legend over there, and you just ran down the resume of Tama there. So clearly he was pretty good over there too. And I continue to think that if I'm an MFT, I'm a little bit mad at the WWE because I'm sitting here looking like $1 million damn dollars. I'm pretty tall. I'm pretty menacing. I'm pretty athletic. I'm pretty young, and you're absolutely just wasting me. But hey, Solo looks good, and I love Solo, so I'm for it.
In what I think will be the greatest angle in the history of professional wrestling, Chelsea Green lost the United States Championship to Julia. I'm going to say right here, Rod, that Chelsea Green this year will be the 17-time United States champion. She's going to win it. She's going to lose it. She's going to win it. She's going to lose it all year long, every single week. We're going to see her, and then every other week she's going to lose. What do you think? I love it. Rod, thoughts?
I think it's absolutely perfect. You can sign me up for any Chelsea Green gimmick that you want to give. My only worry here, Jim, would be we have to make sure that the U.S. title belt then filters around to a few other people, because I don't want to see Julia all of a sudden become an 8-time United States champion because she was involved in all these battles with Chelsea. You know what I mean? Like, let's get my girl Thea Hale, right? Let's have her maybe come up to the roster and get a run as U.S. champion. You know, let's get Ivy Nile a run as champion, maybe, right? You know, we can put the belt on Zelina Vega, perhaps. Sure. We could put the belt on a Candice LeRae, perhaps. You know, like let's not just have
a Jordan Grace that's just coming up.
Everybody, why not? Let's go.
Let's put it on Kiana James, right? Like have Kiana James turn her back on Julia at one point, right? That's a story angle we could do. You know, she wins.
How about Maxine move down to the U.S. title belt? Like she's going to have a third match with Becky. We know that, but then let her go after the U.S. title a little bit. Maybe Rod will believe her then.
I don't think I told that to the people, Chris. I think that was just in the Patreon exclusive text message form. But yeah, that's the problem with Maxine Dupree. She looks like $1 million. She clearly has improved her wrestling ability, but I don't believe anything she does or says ever.
The Patreon exclusive. You know how much that cost me? And I'm the only person that subscribes to it. Anyway, we had Damian Priest and Aleister Black in the ambulance match. That was a very long match.
Yes.
I thought it ended very well. We had a Rhea Ripley. We had a Zelina Vega sighting. We had a choke push maybe off the ambulance. The doors wouldn't open. I thought they did pretty well. I hope this feud is over. They did get a lot of "this is awesome" chants, Chris. What were your thoughts overall of Priest and Black, and where do you see Priest going from here?
It's hard for me to determine or know what they're going to do, right? I think Priest is interesting. He wrestles. I love these matches that he does, you know, from the time going back to when he wrestled Bad Bunny to what he's been able to do. Like these matches are fun. I like an ambulance match. Give me something that reminds me of the Attitude Era, right? And that's what that did. That whole match reminded me of an old, you know, Undertaker versus whoever coffin type match. Give me that. I'll take it. Even if they want to continue this feud, I'll keep watching these matches.
The New Age Outlaws versus Cactus Jack and Terry Funk in a dumpster match, right? Like that's absolutely what Chris is talking about there. That was one of my favorite Attitude matches back in the day.
Chainsaw Charlie, of course. Terry Funk.
Excuse me.
Was not. That was not Terry Funk. It was Chainsaw
That's right.
Charlie.
I'm sorry.
Overall, I thought SmackDown was really good. I had high hopes going into Raw as well with the Stranger Things, and it really boiled down to they just changed the set a little bit. They really didn't do much at all. Finn Balor, I think, had the best thing of the night where he tweeted out a picture of him as the demon and him as Finn Balor in a Stranger Things like mirror dimension. I guess that's something that happens in that show. I thought that was pretty neat. But we did have a few title changes, not the one we thought might happen, as CM Punk and Braun Breaker tried to kill each other multiple times for real, but CM Punk retains the title. Left me a little flat on that ending, Rod. I'm interested to see what you have to say about it.
Yeah, I think the writing in that match was really spot on, right? I think the spots that they were trying to create were the way that they should have drawn it out, but it rang a little flat, right? I don't know if that's Breakers trying to speed through it too much. I don't know if that's Punk just like he doesn't quite have the quick twitch that he'd like to have anymore. And another thing I want to bring up here, Jimmy, is I get why they call it the suicide dive now. And I don't know that we need to do it much anymore because it doesn't look like that cool of a move when guys get hit with it anyway. And it's just the Punk, I thought, almost decapitated himself when he tried to pull the suicide dive. Like he's entirely too old to be doing the suicide dive. Him and Rollins both, like just knock it off.
I think when you have a move like that, that's part of your repertoire and you do that all the time, it really does lose a lot of its luster, Chris. And like Rod said, I don't think it's worth it either. It's not worth the pain that could happen.
Right. It's something we see probably way too often. Maybe something that's a little bit overused in some of our eyes, right? And as dangerous it is, why overuse it? All right. I can understand why super kicks are overused, right? It's one of the safer moves apparently in wrestling, and a lot of people can do it really well. So even though I think that's overused, I understand it's safer than a suicide dive or even a moonsault or anything off of the ring side onto the floor. You are really risking a lot. And the suicide dive is even worse.
And that pile driver in that match too, Jimmy. The pile driver in that match was just, it was bad. Like, I don't know why they called that spot. Like, I don't want to see anybody get hurt either. You know what I mean? So like the pile driver was used effective for Cody and Kevin, but Punk trying to hit Breaker with that, like you could just totally tell he was trying to keep his head from going anywhere near the mat. It just didn't look good.
And then the Frankensteiner where Punk messed up because you're supposed to keep your arms inside on that so he can get the flip over, but he had his arms on the outside and Breaker landed on his head. They had to try to do that again, and Punk like really kind of went in on that. Again, it was kind of a flat ending, I think, to the show, and overall my expectations were a little higher. Not necessarily Jericho, because I thought he might be there, but I mean, I guess that's got to be a Rumble. But see, the Rumble being in Saudi Arabia is really messing with my mind now because I have that it's over there. It doesn't count. It's not in the lore of WWE, but it has to be because it's the Royal Rumble. Do you see where I'm going with that?
So you think we're going to hear a countdown and bring the walls down as an entrant into the Royal Rumble? That's how you think we're getting Jericho back?
Either that or it'll be the Monday after the Rumble. One or the other.
I think it makes more sense for it to be the Monday after the Rumble, quite frankly, because I don't know how many times we're going to get Chris Jericho actually doing a match, right? I mean, isn't he like 57 or something like that, Jimmy? I mean,
know, but he made a return. He made a surprise return in the Rumble as number 2? I think it was number 2. Ziggler was number 1, and the place went nuts. So that would be kind of cool.
Oh, of course it'd be a pop, but I mean, we got to handle him with kid gloves if we want to be trying to pull off like a 6-month kind of story or even a couple of weeks kind of story. We got to be handling him with kid gloves. You know, we can't put him in the Rumble and then something crazy happens with Tozawa.
So we have new tag team champions. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky beat Asuka and Kairi Sane. Yeah, Rod, talk about it.
I just don't understand what we're doing with Io Sky. Like, if you guys are going to continue to tell me that I'm supposed to care about Io Sky, I have absolute big problems with trying to care about somebody whose character right now is Rhea Ripley's excited little sister who just runs down to the ring and does Rhea's little moves that Rhea does and gives her a big hug and just tells her, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for saving me and winning me the tag team belts. This is Io friggin' Sky. You guys tried telling me a couple weeks ago for our WWE awards that I should have her as the female wrestler of the year. And now she's Rhea Ripley's little mascot. It's absolutely baffling to me.
But Rod, how awesome is that one-on-one match at WrestleMania going to be?
I guess, but we've seen them go one-on-one before. I don't understand why they had to hurt Asuka's character, or not Asuka, but Io Sky's character so much just to do it. I don't get it.
Chris?
That's okay. So that is not how I've seen this at all. As Io being Rhea's little sister or whatever. To me, it's Io getting people to see Rhea's softer side, much like Alexa Bliss was able to soften Charlotte to the fans. And I think that's where the real matches going forward are going to be, is Io and Rhea versus Alexa and Charlotte. And that's probably a much better rivalry for the women's tag team as those four than anything with the Kabuki Warriors.
I want to see Asuka, and I want to see Rhea, and I want to see Io all go for the main title. You know, I really do. Or maybe the Intercontinental title, because we had an Intercontinental title change. And I think the Maxine Dupree experiment as champion, I think that's done. I don't like that. She did the best she could. It was not pretty. It was probably the worst of their 3 matches. Becky Lynch needs to be the champ. And let's have some really solid matches going on with her and these women in the division, Rod.
Yeah, that would be great. And speaking of the women's division and wanting to go for the big title, Jimmy, I think the elephant in the room here is my female wrestler of the year, Stephanie Vaquer. Okay, she comes down to the ring in a walking boot, delivers a promo. Raquel Rodriguez comes in, right? Complete traditional dastardly heel spot, right? Everybody's supposed to love the white meat babyface Stephanie Vaquer, who's in the ring just pouring her heart out. The heel dastardly comes in and attacks her. That place was silent, Jimmy. They didn't care. They couldn't care about Stephanie Vaquer having the belt. They couldn't care about Raquel Rodriguez knocking down Stephanie Vaquer. That's a problem if you ask me. The silence in that building during what was supposed to be a buildup for a title belt. Nobody cared.
And you know what? I'm going to go on. No one cared about Lyra Valkyria and Liv Morgan either. It was weird. The Liv Morgan was her first match back. By the way, love the fake tattoo top thing she had on. I thought that was a cool touch, the Mysterio touch there. But yeah, the crowd might have been tired. You know, Chris, they had to yeet twice for no reason at all. I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird too. That was really weird.
Right? Yeah. I guess that takes the energy out of a crowd. I mean, I never yeeted, so I wouldn't know.
And then Gunther is the number one heel in the company by far still. AJ Styles slaps him. And instead
That
of
was the only moment I
long,
cared about. The only
That was
moment I
pretty
cared
cool.
about on Raw. It was the only one
Yeah,
I
that
cared
was
about,
pretty cool.
honestly.
because we're going to see
I
that.
want
I
to
think
see
it's next
AJ
week,
and him
isn't it?
go. Yeah, I want to see him go. I want to see AJ have a good standing here. I want to see something happen with AJ. And Jimmy, we got to mention, we saw the Viper.
We did see Randy Orton back, and we'll see what they do with him. He's back. He's going to be here until Mania for sure, and probably take some more time off. I don't see him in a world title picture, but you never know. Something could happen.
I could see him
Love
going
Randy
up against Gunther, right?
Sure.
Oh,
Give
Legend
Gunther-
Killer versus Legend Killer.
Yeah, give Gunther another notch on his belt. Why not? Randy's been eating, right? Randy will be the first to tell you sometimes when he comes out in the t-shirt, I've been eating.
And our legend is going to take us home because you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcast network. In the room, Jimmy, Chris, and Rod.
Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye, net. Yeah.
LA Knight, we still love you. Hopefully they'll give you
Yes, we
something to
do.
do.
Yeah, he's dead.